Alan, how was it? I mean, do you feel you were being policed fairly?
Well, I think a couple of things. I started at the Cenotaph and at Winston Churchill, and it was very...
What time was that?
That was around 11 in the morning.
So the time of the moment of silence?
Yes, indeed, to 12:15. It was very dignified, calm. I have seen the things that happened subsequently. I must say that I think the media and others in the run-up to this stoked up a lot of things. The two things were quite separate. Things would be... But people are...
The media was reporting what the people were saying about it.
Well,
doing any more than that.
Indeed, and they were two different times, two different things. But I do think people have been very upset over what's happened in the last few weeks, some incidents, and a sense in which policing should be without fear or favour, but is not necessarily.
Do you agree with Suella Braverman that they were picking favourites?
I think that the majority of the British public agree with Suella Braverman on that point.
And she's been sacked by the PM today.
Indeed, and I think that the PM and others are completely out of touch with the public, and that's why together we say that the public has to be at the heart of things in terms of how we police, but also about democratic freedom and accountability. Now, I don't agree with Richard's point about banning it, because whilst you've got abhorrent ideas, I think things that are illegal should be dealt with, whether that's Just Stop Oil or any of the others, or the more recent things. The problem has been there hasn't been the backbone and the spine to do it. And what's happened is we've had more laws passed, even though there were laws to deal with things, around the Police Crime Sentencing Act, like we've got the Online Safety Bill, limiting our freedoms and limiting our ability to shine a light, actually, to show how brilliant civilization, to what our forefathers stood for, about our freedom and our rights, and to say this is what's so good about us and our way of life. And I'm very concerned that then I ended up going somewhere alongside where the demonstration was. I went into a pub, a great British pub, to use the bathroom, use the toilet, and I was told I couldn't come out. We had to wait there for 3.5 hours. So I was locked in a pub. Some people might say that's a fun thing, but I actually met a couple of brilliant people. But what was quite dangerous in the sense that it was presenting us in the pub as though we were some kind of threat. No. So that was nerve-wracking. And then we were told we were going to be searched, and we couldn't leave without being searched.
And what was the grounds for this, Alan?
Well, they said it's emergency powers. Someone says Section 60. I didn't really get a clear answer from the Chief Constable or from any of the other people there. But it was clear to me that in this discussion about far right, that's for patriots, that seems to be about anyone who thinks that statues should be preserved. But generally, there's become an obsession, on the one hand, about all sorts of people, not being specific. And then there has been a reluctance, it seems to me, to intervene in some of the things we've seen. Yeah. Now, I know it's a difficult job, but my concern about more bans and more restrictions is that that gets imposed on all of us, like what happened to me on the weekend.